Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a lap guide for Daily Race C taking place at Nurburgring Nordschleife with the Group 4 cars. And for this guide, I'll be using the Dodge Viper Group 4 as it's a nice car to drive here, even though it's not the best car. If you're looking for the best car, then you're looking for the all-wheel drives, including the Nissan GT-R. But let's get started with the lap guide right away. So brake before the pit wall on the right ends. Full braking power, taking advantage of the whole width of the track, slowly easing off of the brakes and carefully getting on the throttle as you exit the first turn. Then use a sign on the left as your turning point. You will need to do a little bit of lifting off of the throttle to help with the turn in. Then look for this dry patch of grass on the right. Start to brake just as it starts. So brake hard for a very short moment, then do lots of braking control or trail braking, and then quick burst of braking through here. 50% braking power for a very short moment. Then when the tarmac changes color, this is where you want to brake hard for a very short moment. Ease off of the brakes as you're turning in, so doing a bit of trail braking. Get on the throttle as soon as you can. You're trying to maintain as much momentum as possible to try to shave off as much time as possible. For fluke plots, lift off of the throttle and turn in just after you reach the top of the hill, trying to maintain as much speed as possible. This is even more important in the non-meta cars, as you're at a bit of a disadvantage from the meta cars, which are the all-wheel drive cars, especially the Nissan GT-R. Then bring yourself towards the right. Just as you're about to pass the two signs, you want to lift off of the throttle and turn in. Stay on the left. Brake before the curb on the left end, so full braking power for a short while. Slowly ease off of the brakes as you're turning in, carefully getting on the throttle to try to get a fast exit. Now take a short breather, as we're going to be going flat out through here for a short moment or a short while. Then bring yourself towards the right, brake well before you reach the sign that is on the right, or if you can spot it, as you reach the dry patch of grass on the right. 50% braking power and turn in, taking advantage of the curves and brake again shortly after. Doing lots of trail braking to try to maintain as much momentum. Brake before you reach the crosswalk. Bring yourself all the way to the left. A little bit of throttle control as you exit this series of turns, trying to take advantage of the whole width of the track and get on the throttle as soon as the turn ends. Then bring yourself towards the right side of the track. You can do a little bit of trail braking, so just using a little bit of your braking power, and then brake just as you go over the riding that is on the ground. So brake hard for a short moment, ease off of the brakes as you're turning in, trying to be really careful on the throttle. Use the second sign. I use that as my next braking point, so you're braking hard just as you pass it. Trying to be really smooth through here, really easy to end up in a slide and lose momentum. For this S over here, take a flat out, bring yourself towards the left, and gently ease on the brakes before the curb on the right starts. So using around 25% braking power, trying to be really smooth through there. Then just after the dry patch of grass or dirt on the left starts, that's where you want to do even more trail braking. Really tricky to here. You want to do lots of trail braking to try to brake as late as possible and try to maintain as much speed as possible. Then bring yourself towards the right, brake before the curb on the right ends. Brake hard for a short moment, then brake before the curb on the left ends. 50% braking power for a very short moment. Just trying to maintain as much momentum as possible, and I know I've said that about 100 times at this point, but momentum is key here. Then bring yourself towards the left, brake before the Yokohama sign that is on the right, so brake hard for a short moment. Slowly ease off of the brakes as you're turning in and get on the throttle as soon as you can. And try not to touch the grass, because you'll probably end up in the wall if you touch the grass. But let's go ahead and fast forward through this. Bring yourself towards the right side of the track, and just before the curb on the right ends, this is where you want to use a very quick burst of braking, trying to force the car to rotate for a quick moment and maintain your speed. Then bring yourself towards the right, or towards the left actually. Then brake before the curb on the left end, so brake hard for a short while. And you want to try to stay towards the inside of the turn, so doing lots of trail braking, slowing yourself down to the right speed. Get on the throttle as soon as you can, and brake just after you pass the happy little tree that is on the left. Make sure you wave hello to it. So brake hard for a short while. And you can actually carry quite a bit of speed through the carousel. You can see me just playing around with the throttle input to try to maintain that speed. Now for the upcoming left turn, you can easily take it flat out, but then you want to get ready to brake shortly after. Brake when the curb on the right starts. Be really careful through here, really easy to bin it. And then brake just as you're about to pass the marshal that is on the right. 50% braking power for a short moment. Being really careful, easing off of the brakes. Little lift off of throttle for this right turn. A little bit of braking for this left turn. A little bit more throttle control. Brake before the curb on the left ends. Try to be really careful through here. This one's a little hard to spot, but there's a Yokohama sign on the right. Brake before you pass it. Try to be really smooth through here. Really easy to slide around. So just try to be really smooth with your inputs. Brake before the curb on the left ends. Once again, just trying to be really smooth through here. Really easy to end up in a slide, scrub off speed, and end up losing lots of time. For the last turn, brake before the curb on the left ends. Then brake as the dry patch of grass on the right starts. This one's a little hard to spot, so you will need to memorize where to brake for this turn. Just trying to be really smooth through here. Now this is where it gets a little scary, especially in the Viper, as your car is going to make a jump. Brake just as you make the jump. Yeah, it gets a little scary, but you want to build up that confidence and you can carry a lot more speed that way. Going flat out through here comes another little jump. It's a little scary, but you kind of get used to it as you do more laps here. Stay on the left side of the track. Look for the track marshal post that is on the right. That's your braking point. So start to ease on the brakes. Bring yourself towards the right. Then brake before the curb on the right end. So doing a little bit more trail braking, but trying to maintain as much momentum as possible. This turn is actually pretty hard because there's no braking point. So brake before you reach the curbs on either side of the track. You can carry quite a bit of speed through here through the mini carousel. And you can see me be a little aggressive through that turn. Brake before the curb on the left ends is using a little bit of braking power. You can use this marshal post that is on the left as your turning point and try to use as little braking as possible. So you're just trying to lift off of throttle. You only use the brakes if you absolutely need to. But other than that, let's go ahead and fast forward through this. And we're going to be going towards the end of the track. There we go. So brake when the curb on the right ends. You want to be a little careful with the braking because the brakes can lock up and cause your car to spin out. So try to be really careful and smooth through here. Then bring yourself towards the left and brake before the tarmac on the left starts. So brake hard for a very short moment, 100% braking power, and quickly ease off of the brakes. And that is all for the lap guide. So this is pretty much it for the lap guide. Thanks for watching it. So this is Mr. MCA. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.